Usually what I try and look for in a role is something I haven't done before. I like to sort of, throw some fresh stuff out, and I think about, well, how important is this character, full stop. Not how big, but just how important, how interesting is this going to be to watch and bring to life.
It's got to be about the writing. It really does. It's got to be about the writing.
I suppose what I'm looking for is to be intrigued in some way. Maybe have a question raised that isn't immediately answered for me. It's not often necessarily the case that you realise that as you're reading something. It might be that over the following few days, it's percolating.
A really well-told narrative is really important, I think, because oftentimes when you're standing about in a film set rehearsing, it's not really rehearsing that you're doing, it's devising, because everybody's going like, what is this scene, what are we doing? And it's because the narrative is sort of forgotten for a little while sometimes.
I think I've been a bit of a cherry picker from the word go. I was quite strict with myself about doing jobs where I'd find out something I'd never learnt before. Saying no is the only real control you have over your career.
Save Mr. Banks, I just adored the script, and Winter's Tale was a very beautiful script that Kiva Goldsman wrote. Very beautiful, very moving script. And then some of them you just like you read in Bruges, and it's just so remarkably unique and like nothing else.
But every job is entirely different, and you approach it with the demands of that particular job.
I'm pretty much open to anything from the 3-month Mike Leigh experience to just jumping in if the person in control has a kind of full vision of what they're trying to do.
It's a great thing to have rehearsals and just know that you're coming at it from the same point of view. It just means you can be more free, you can play and enjoy it, and I think that's what elevates good work to great work or really exciting or daring work.
It seems to be that a lot of the thoughts that you have when just reading the script, you're not just learning lines, but when you're reading the script again and again and again, every time you read it, you get new ideas and you write them down in your script. So along with the words that you're meant to be learning, you're also kind of remembering and learning these notes and these scribbles and these ideas.
In terms of the relationship between actor and director, I think that the really good ones somehow find a way to communicate wordlessly their support for what you're doing, and not in a precious way. They're just glad you're there. They kind of alleviate any anxiety you might have by the things they don't choose to say, and enable you to cast one thing off and try another.
You have to be allowed to fail as an actor, because it's very easy to get taught in your performances. It's very easy to play it safe.
It's a difficult thing for directors, I think. Oftentimes with directors, they've got vastly less experience of making films than all the technicians and the actors around them. A director might make 10 films in 15 years, in 20 years, whereas all the people that are working with them might make 50 in that time,
Directors will cast like-minded souls who are going to get on. They're all very idiosyncratic, and they're all quite eccentric by and large, and they work their way, and you adapt and work with them.
You can never perfect what we do. There is no way. I've never met anyone who goes, that's perfection. I mean, to an audience outside of your work, people can think that that's the only way they'd ever want to see that part played or that moment done, whatever. But as an actor, and this isn't mock humility, I think it just goes for all art forms, really. The whole point is perfection is unachievable. So it's that constant pursuit of the unobtainable, which is kind of magic, really, and should keep us kind of motivated to try better. It's the Beckett thing, fail again, fail better.
Some people don't see any of their films, but I do think it's a good learning curve, really, to see what you've done and how it works and what doesn't work.
You're making yourself very vulnerable to criticism, to condemnation, to personal slander. There's not many other walks of life where you are criticised so personally. You are bad. I hate that actor. Gets said, oh, I hate that actor. Strong words.
I think it's very important as a human being, but as an actor, or I'm sure it leads into the other arts, to really take time to give yourself counsel. Like really give yourself counsel, to not just believe what people are telling you are what they observe to be your position.
Because some people are great actors, but they can't deal with the lifestyle, because you're constantly being judged. There is so much rejection, even for people who work regularly. Drama school is a great idea. I really do believe that. And theatre school is a fantastic idea. It's 2 or 3 years where you get to be in an environment that is safe. Your vulnerability is protected. Nowhere in the professional world will you manage to get 20 gigs in 3 years playing, you know, all these different characters. You're there, you're kind of there to fail.
I mean, I was very lucky. I had a very privileged upbringing, but at the same time, I would always make sure that I understood what it was that I was a part of and what I wanted to be distant from. To just see lots, read lots, hear lots, experience life as well, and just keep observing, really observing, not just looking and seeing, but sort of observing. I mean, it's really hard. It's really hard. It's a difficult job. And with all the success comes a whole new load of problems. So it's forever, the landscape of it's forever changing. But I just think persevere.
Don't worry about being famous or becoming a star. Just do as much interesting work as you possibly can. Spread your net as wide as possible, and then more work will follow.
You take what comes your way, and for me, that kind of adjusting myself to what I didn't think I could do was probably the best learning experience I had, including anything I've done in the last 10 years.